Let's get right into it. Sarah Michelle Gellar, best known for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Cruel Intentions, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scooby-Doo 1 and 2, and The Grudge, and so many more. She married fellow heartthrob Freddie Prinze Jr. in 2002 and had a daughter in 2009 and son in 2012, and they still live in Los Angeles. Since her return to acting in 2012, after taking a hiatus after the birth of her daughter, Gellar has been in several not too successful shows, but also did voice work for Robot Chicken until 2018 and a couple American Dad episodes. She even played herself in a 2019 episode of The Big Bang Theory. However, Gellar may find herself soon back on top with a main role voice acting gig in the Netflix animated series Master of the Universe Revelation since 2021. And a starring role in the new show Wolfpack, set to be released in January 2023 for Paramount Plus, based on a novel of the same name and is American supernatural teen drama, as well as being in Clerks 3 and Do Revenge, two movies of 2022, with Clerks 3 being Kevin Smith's long-anticipated third installment into the Clerks franchise, and Do Revenge is a Netflix American teen black comedy film starring Camila Mendes and Maya Hawke, which has an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Safe to say her star may be back on the rise. Alicia Silverstone is best known for the movies Clueless, Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser, playing Batgirl in Batman and Robin, and starring in 3 music videos, including Cryin' for the band Aerosmith, among many other films and shows. Silverstone married her longtime rock and roll boyfriend, Christopher Jarecki, in June 2005, who she had a son with in 2011 and divorced in 2018. She has been vegan since 1998 and is a champion for animal rights and environmental activism. Silverstone was in the 4th installment as the mother in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series called The Long Haul in 2017, which grossed $40 million worldwide, but was still her most widely seen film since Beauty Shop in 2005. However, she continues to act to this day in things like Netflix's reboot of The Babysitter's Club in 2020 and Netflix's Masters of the Universe Revelation next to Sarah Michelle Gellar in 2021. Alicia is set to star next to Justin Timberlake and Benicio del Toro in the crime drama movie Reptile, which is filming right now, and she was in an episode of American Horror Stories earlier this year, so she seems to be doing great as well. Since we talked about Aerosmith, I think it's only right to talk about Liv Tyler, frontman Steven Tyler's daughter, who is best known for movies like That Thing You Do, Armageddon, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and The Strangers in 2008. She is also still quite popular in the Hollywood scene, with things like HBO's drama series The Leftovers, which ended in 2017, and 911 Lone Star in 2020. But Liv resides in London with her family, consisting of a son born in 2004 with her first husband, Royston Langdon, of the British band Spacehog, who she divorced in 2008, and has another son born in 2015 and daughter in 2016 with longtime partner David Gardner, whom she has been with since 2014. Next up is Carmen Electra, who was a huge sex symbol of the 90s and 2000s. She was often in Playboy magazine before hosting the MTV dating game show Singled Out and moving into movies with things like Scary Movie numbers 1 and 4, Meet the Spartans, and Starsky and Hutch. Carmen married and divorced Dennis Rodman in the late 90s, and the same with Dave Navarro of the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the early 2000s. She has not done too much with her Hollywood career in many years, except for a couple episodes of different shows like Jane the Virgin and Hell's Kitchen, but in 2022, she started an OF account to, quote, be her own creative boss and what to share with her fans, end quote. Alyssa Milano is best known for starring in television shows such as Who's the Boss with Tony Danza, Melrose Place, Charmed, My Name is Earl, and for being a big activist of the Me Too movement. In 2009, Milano married an agent named David Bulgari, after which they had a son in 2011 and a daughter in 2014. In 2019, she released a children's book, Hope Project Middle School Book, which is part of her Hope book series, which she co-authors with Debbie Regaud. And also in 2019, she started her podcast called Alyssa Milano, Sorry, Not Sorry, which consists mainly of social and political commentary. In October of 2021, her book, Sorry, Not Sorry, which was 32 essays describing her activism and her thoughts on social and political issues. She owns property in Bell Canyon, California, with 9 horses, 8 chickens, 2 rabbits, and 5 dogs. In 2021, she was being driven by her uncle, who has some sort of medical condition, when the car veered into another lane and crashed. And Alyssa is also what they call a long hauler from getting sick during the pandemic, meaning she still has issues with breathing and functioning normally, which is terribly sad. Here's to hoping she feels back to her normal self soon. And last, but certainly not least, the Spice Girls, a British girl group formed in 1994 through auditions placed in a trade paper called The Stage with Heart Management, who had decided they needed a girl group to rival the British boy bands of the time, and that the girls should be totally different from one another to appeal to every little girl, to which about 400 girls showed up for the auditions. And after weeks of deliberations and Jerry Halliwell missing the first round, but still somehow talking her way into the second round, and Mel C getting tonsillitis and missing the second audition altogether. So, Victoria Adams, or Posh Spice, Melanie Brown, Scary Spice, Jerry Halliwell, Sexy Spice, which was changed to Ginger Spice. And as a side note, in my research, most places didn't even talk about how Jerry was originally known as Sexy Spice, but I specifically remember when they changed it. And I remember hearing it was supposedly because Sexy Spice was too sexy and Ginger fit her better because of her fiery nature and red hair. So does anyone else remember this? But anyway, Michelle Stephenson and Melanie Chisholm, or Sporty Spice, who was invited back to replace another finalist, were selected for a band named Touch. They were moved into a 3-bedroom house together to learn dance routines and practice songs that were written for them. Michelle Stephenson was eventually fired for a perceived lack of commitment, after which the girl's vocal coach was asked to find a replacement. The first girl he asked declined, but the next girl to get the request, Emma Bunton, or Baby Spice, who auditioned and was signed on as the 5th member. I cannot imagine how those 2 girls that missed out feel, but I also cannot picture any other person in any of the final girls of the group that we all know and love. Their name was changed to Spice, but then Spice Girls because there was already a rapper going around by the name Spice. The group shot to fame with hits like Wannabe, Spice Up Your Life, Two Become One, too many to name, and their for sure not hit movie, but maybe a sort of cult classic, Spice World. The Spice Girls sold over 100 million albums worldwide, making them the best-selling girl group of all time and the most successful British pop act since the Beatles. They were the icons of girl power and sisterhood and paved the way for girl groups after them, until Jerry Halliwell announced her departure from the group in 1998. So the group became a 4-piece, and each girl worked more on their solo careers after that. In 2007, all 5 reunited for a worldwide tour called Return of the Spice Girls, for which the first London date sold out in 38 seconds. So, 16 additional London shows were added, and all of them sold out within a minute. They also had to add many more city stops and dates to their U.S. tour to keep up with demand, and ended the 47-date tour as the highest-grossing concert of 2007 to 2008, making over $100 million in tickets and merch sales. In 2010, the Spice Girls helped develop a stage musical called Viva Forever, which is similar to like how ABBA's music is used in Mamma Mia. So the girls' music was used to create an original story, but it was hated by critics and closed after just 7 months with a loss of over $5 million. The girls have since released EPs of previously unreleased demos for special occasions like the 25th anniversary of Wannabe, and even toured again in 2019 without Victoria Beckham, who was already married to soccer superstar David Beckham with 4 kids and a fashion empire at this point, and hadn't done much work with the Spice Girls since about 2012. The rest of the girls are still listed as current members, so, who knows what we could get from them in the future, I guess. Mel B, or Scary Spice, is now a twice-divorced mother of 3, one of which is actually comedian Eddie Murphy's baby, and she finished 11th place in the second season of The Masked Singer as the Seahorse. Mel continues to do small projects and keep her foot in the door of Hollywood after being a judge on several different singing competition shows like the British version of The X Factor. Emma Bunton, or Baby Spice, is married to a British R&B singer turned chef named Jade Jones, with whom she has 2 children. Emma still makes music to this day and has even had a successful voice acting career in animated movies like Smallfoot with Channing Tatum. Mel C, or Sporty Spice, has 1 child, a daughter born in 2009, and also continues to make music along with releasing an autobiography in August this year, 2022, called Who I Am, My Story. Mel C just recently, around August of this year, broke up with her manager she had been dating since 2015 named Joe Marshall, and apparently she dated singers Robbie Williams and Anthony Kiedis in the past. Jerry Halliwell, Ginger Spice, has 2 children, one of which with her husband, Christian Horner, who is a former British race driver, and she is a stepmother to a child from his previous relationship. In November, it was announced that Jerry had been added to the upcoming American sports film called Gran Turismo as the wife of one of the main characters, so that's pretty cool, good for her. I had a list of so many more names, but did not want this video to be super long, so maybe a part 2 later on. I'm Black Veil. Please like and subscribe if you liked and want to subscribe. Hope to catch ya in the next one.